is really crazy. He keeps going with this session, these 30 days of trying to contact Zozo. So in another session, he again goes into this kind of like blank stare, like trance. And he looks directly at the camera and says, "Benny says hi." And then he's like, "What was that? I don't know what the fuck that was. Who's Benny?" So days later, after this session, he's in another session days later. So Zozo comes back again, and he spells out the word Campbell 52409. Dad, all mine. And then points to yes. And a few days following, one of the viewers on a live stream contacts him. Her name is Jane. And they don't know this girl. She's just like a viewer on the live stream. And so she was just someone who was watching, and when he said the name Benny, a cold chill ran down her spine. And she says, Benny was my dad, and it's not a common name. As soon as I heard that name, I always think of my dad. She was shook. And he's like, and she said his name was Benny Campbell. So Campbell was the name that came through with Zozo. Mm-hmm. The date that Zozo spelled out was the date that he died. And then he said, "Dad, all mine." Oh. So she was like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
That's fucked up, Zozo. Taking Benny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think. Okay. So if this is all real, right? And I like that he's doing a live stream because it is hard to fake with a live stream. But if this is really happening, whatever it is using all the energy of the people watching and being afraid and on the edge of their seats. Right. So it's like it's all communicating with them, and even though it looks like it's only communicating with Timmy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
interesting.
It's like feeding off the energy of the attention. Yeah,
he might not even be the target.
So then it says, right. So then it says after this girl contacts him, he's talking to Zozo again. It says it spells out play JC, which is her initials, Jane, whatever her last name is, Campbell. More time, pop. And I guess it was saying. Jane, like her dad wanted to play with her more before he died or something like that. And so what Tim and Selena think is going on here is that it's trying to convince other people who are watching this, and that it recognizes as being susceptible. It's trying to get them to jump on a Ouija board too and try and contact. Like it's trying to get more people to feed it, basically.
Yeah.
That's what he kind of feels like it's happening. He tells her, "I don't think your dad is contacting you. That's not what's happening here. This thing's just trying to get you. It's trying to manipulate you, basically. It's trying to lure you in."
Well, that's creepy. So if you're watching that shit, those things might be watching you back.
Yeah. That's what live stream was saying. Like it's just, yeah. But man, what do you do for clicks? So here we go. I'll cut to the final 30 days, right? So he hits this thing up again, and he's like, he wants answers now because they're not getting anywhere really, but they're finding some really crazy shit. So he asks it, "Are you a demon?" And he's in this house, this haunted house, and it spells out "dead girl." And I guess a girl apparently did die in this house that they were in, a little girl. And then he asks, "Did you die in this house?" She says, "Yes." "Did you die of natural causes?" She says, "No." So Tim starts to get this really heavy feeling in his gut, and he feels like there's something else in here. There's something else watching him now. And he says, so he feels like a rock is being thrown. He can hear like a pebble hit the floor behind him and roll and rock, like a little rock thrown. He's like, "What the fuck was that?" And then he asks the Ouija board, "Who else is in here with us?" And it spells out "Commander." And then he's like, "What is that? What does he want?" And it says, "Once you gone." Another rock is thrown after that. More poltergeist activity. So he asks directly to the girl, "Have you been protecting me?" She says, "Yes." Then he says, can you protect me from this commander? And she says, no. And then she spells out G-O-A-T, goat. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Metaphor for the devil?
Greatest of all time? I don't know. So and then he says, like, where is he now? And it spells out behind. So he feels like this presence, like, suddenly behind him. And then Tim, I mean, for fuck's sake. And then he, instead of being like, all right, we're going to shut this off, let's get the fuck out of here, he turns around and starts yelling insults at this commander in the room. And he's like, come on, you piece of shit. You don't scare me. What do you got? Come and do something. Fucking show me who we are.
Kadrick says that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess he's dealt with this shit before, so maybe it was a good idea. So more rocks are starting to be thrown in the room now, and you can hear him around in the video, apparently. So then he pulls out one of these things called a Ovilus device, which is one of those things that oscillates between words and stuff. And it's, you know, you see it on ghost shows all the time. So it switches back and forth between all these words. And they hear the word Legion come through on this device. And he's like, what the fuck is that? And it spells something else out on the planchette. It says, like, 100 shoes remove. And Tim's like, another one of these, like, things that pops up. And he's like, I don't know what that means. That's fucking crazy. I'm not taking my shoes off. And then it spells out Ancient Threat November. Like, what the fuck is that? Ancient Threat in November? So he's like, what's going to happen in November? And then nothing else comes through, and the session is kind of done after that. He doesn't get anything more. And I really want to find out what the fuck happens at the end of this book, but you can't get it anymore. So that's about how far I got, but it sounds like it's something like this entities, whatever it is basically, again, we've talked about this before, feeding off the attention, feeding off the fear, just trying to get as much of it as they can. Mm-hmm. For, you know, that's how they live, I guess. You know, I don't know if I ever want to try this. Mm-mm. After reading some of the stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give that a huge miss. No thanks.
You know,
so I don't know.
I would try the multidimensional camera and maybe the wand. Uh-huh. And possibly the mirror if you just want to talk to a dead loved one. You know, not a haunted mirror. But, like, everything else, no. I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't try it. I'd say, nope. I think we're good.
Not going to touch it.
Yeah, no Ouija boards, no haunted mirrors. We're good. We're good. All right, guys. That's all the time we have for this week's podcast. But be careful out there. Pick the right devices. That's what she said.
Yeah. Just something that vibrates is fine.
Double-ended.
Goodbye.
Did you say double entry?
Ended.
Oh. Double-ended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes.